Perfect. It's on. You're screen sharing. You are live on camera. Great to have you.
Just taking notes. I need to buy an airport.
Oh, good. So you're probably then going to share the size of the tranche with us here today, then, so we can know how big your airport must be.
Yeah, exactly. That's part of the. There's no point having a small airport, as Rob said. You need at least four runways.
4 runways.
An airport for ants, otherwise. If you catch the Zoolander joke there.
There we go.
So that's fine. So I'm going to take you through basically the transaction we did with Imperial, give you a bit of a history of Parcel Ninja, and try to fit it all in 9 minutes. Is that right?
Brilliant. Go for it, sir.
Okay, cool. Let's go. So what do we do? So Parcel Ninja, as it stands, is an outsourced warehouse and distribution business. We started as a business where people can leave their products in our warehouse, and it's our job to deliver those products to people's houses or to shops. So we sort of take the promise that an e-commerce or an individual or a company has made to deliver products and make sure that happens. So as you can see, this is a picture of our old warehouse. We manage everything around the warehousing, the distribution, and the deliveries. And all you have to do is make sure that you get the sales. What we did starting in March is we redefined what the business was going to do. And we had 3 sort of pillars or key components to the business. The one is our standard e-commerce fulfillment. You leave the products in our warehouse, we deliver. The second one was to set up a business with Unilever to manage distribution to spaza shops, which is quite unique. So there's this pent-up demand within the informal market. And up until now, supply chain and deliveries haven't been able to service this market efficiently. But together with our tech, we went and built a platform that enables big brands to deliver products into the spaza network or spaza shops, which is quite cool. And then with COVID happening, we decided that we wanted to take our courier optimization and reporting engine, which we use internally in our warehouse, and turn that into a business by itself, which is quite cool. So in our warehouse business, when you request a delivery, in real time, we go manage that, or real time, we go bid for that delivery with multiple couriers. And depending on the service type that people are looking for and the price, we give that to the correct or appropriate courier. So those are the 3 parts of the business, important. So as I said, we store, we pick, we pack, we deliver. We manage everything around that sort of process there. We also have cool reporting and return processes. So basically, if you're looking to launch an e-commerce site, we can take you from not having a site to up and running in a matter of hours. We did this during COVID with people selling thermometers and masks. And basically, they left their products in our warehouse and we took them to market in a matter of hours. End product looks something like this. This is an old Superbulous box. So you can see it's strapped 3 times, got a special box, got a label, it's got everything done, stickers. We make sure that boxes arrive like that when people order products. Next, spaza distribution. Quite a tricky story. Basically, we have to store individual products and make sure that we can take an order from a sales rep who goes to visit a spaza shop. That order then gets routed into SAP and into our system. We then pick and pack that order, put into special boxes. We generate invoices for it. We route plan that. We get it ready for distribution. At night, we line haul to multiple distribution points. And basically, if a spaza shop orders some Sunlight dishwashing liquid or soap today at 3 o'clock, we'll make sure that they have it by tomorrow morning already. So the distribution to spas is actually quicker than home distribution a lot of the times. You can see we've got special eco boxes that we make use of for return management. And basically, we manage everything around this distribution to spas, which is quite unique and difficult. The last part, like I said, is our optimization engine. Basically, through a single integration point with us, enterprise customers, or really SMEs as well, are able to manage multiple delivery types. So if you integrate with our Parcel Ninja optimized business, we integrate with locker providers, on-demand providers like Uber. We integrate with traditional couriers like Dawnwing or Fast and Furious or the Courier Guy. We have pickup points for collection, and we do Rika deliveries, all through one-point integration. We also manage billing around that and SLA and supply chain reporting through all of this. So I'm just getting this very quickly out. Basically, it looks like this. You say, I want to ship something, which is a 1 kilogram shipment, you can see, which is 10 by 10 by 10 at the top. And we'll give you all of your delivery options with pricing upfront. So you know exactly when you're going to be getting it. You can choose which courier service you want from the suite, and our system will give you the right label to sit in the product, and off it goes, which is quite cool. We then give you nice reporting on top of that, so you can see where things are going, if there's any failed deliveries, if there's tracking issues or anything around that. And basically, this automates supply chain for SMEs. Traditionally, this would only be available through like a SAP or Oracle or one of those. We've sort of sorted that out to make it really accessible and simple to use for individuals. There's also dashboarding, so you can see where your product's going. We show how much we save on a monthly basis on a weekly basis by comparing couriers. And basically, this has revolutionized quite a few SMEs from their home delivery perspective. And all of this happened through a single integration, by the way, through multiple couriers. 2009, where we started. This is our warehouse originally for our Wanted All business, where we import products from the US into South Africa. And if you have a look at the back there, I think you can see an old CRT screen and not even a dot matrix printer in the background. And we used to take all the products from overseas, ship them to South Africa, sort them in our house. I don't have a picture of that. But eventually we ended up getting a little office in Bryanston, which is about 100 square meters, where every single day we used to receive products from overseas. We used to sort them manually, print out labels, and send everything to the customers. We had to know where every single product sits. So you have to do it from memory, which is quite cool. So you have a list of all the items you're looking for on the ground and you're calling out, I'm looking for the sword from J.J. Jones's a book from that. You're looking for a particular camera and you have to remember where all these things are. So through the sorting process, you ended up with like semi-photographic memories on where products sit, which is quite cool. 2006, we started. 2009, we ended up leaving. This is our entire team, all of us. If you look on the left-hand side there, there's Rosie and Sally with my brother. They were originally our domestic workers who we then brought into the business to help us scale, which is quite cool. We moved to our next warehouse, which is about this big. There we go. It looks like that. Where we put some fancy shelves in. We've got some boxes. We've got trestle tables there with doors on top of that for our doors, for our desks, and basically went ultra lean, cheap to get things going. As the business expanded, we took on board a business called Superblist, which was City Mob back in the day. We took that business which had issues around distribution, and we basically helped them ship products around South Africa. This is what it looked like when they used to ship products to us. It became a little bit messy, and we had to sort of sort things out. 2014, decided it's time to get bigger. Instead of having a 500 square meter warehouse, we went to a 4,000 square meter warehouse. This is what it looked like before we moved in. These are all of our new shelves arriving, together with light duty racking in the background there in orange. 2016, it looked like this. So started getting a bit busy. This was built on the fact that we're doing a lot of work for Superblist. There were a lot of fashion retail businesses we were doing work for. And basically the business was able to expand and manage e-commerce deliveries for sort of about 100 different customers. E-commerce was starting to get going in 2016, but it isn't really where we see it today, obviously. 2019, we had some shoes in the warehouse, which is quite cool. And then 2020, last year, we decided to move warehouse to our new one, which is a total of 8,000 squares with about 6,000 warehouse space. So we went from 100 to 400 to 2,000 to 4,000. And then we're looking at about the 8,000 squares now, which is quite cool. This is what the warehouse looks like with all the guys delivering, which is quite cool. We moved our warehouse and I did 30 kilometers in one day walking around, helping move the warehouse, which is quite interesting, 41,000 steps. So if any of you think that you can't do a half marathon, just move a warehouse. Apparently it's quite easy. This is half of what our new warehouse looks like this year. So there's another picture on the other side of this. And basically, we've been able to expand quite a bit and things have sorted itself out. 2018, we got approached by a team called Resolve, which is part of the Imperial Group, where they heard about the work we're doing from a software perspective, as well as this like home delivery thing. And they identified that e-commerce is a story. So they gave us a call and said, listen, are we interested in selling the business? We went through a bit of a process with them and decided that it wasn't quite the right time to sell, but you know what, we should stay in contact. So I heard Lois speaking earlier about like, how long does it take to do a transaction? Well, I think the first part is you don't always do the transaction the first time. I think that's interesting around that. But the point is that they learned what our business is about. They carried on watching what we're doing. And then they launched, Imperial guys together with Newtown Partners launched a 300 million rand VC fund with Imperial, which means that the Imperial guys were serious on making investments in sort of SMEs. We ended up doing the transaction not through this VC fund, funnily enough. But we thought that when we had the second conversation with the guys at Imperial, they started to understand what it was like to actually acquire smaller businesses. They managed the entire process really well. We had quite nice interactions with them. We saw the synergies between our businesses. There was commitment from both parties regarding what the business would look like after the transaction. And I think what was critical to the whole success of the transaction really was this guy here. So Benchmark International, we made use of to help us facilitate our transaction. Basically, Dustin and the Benchmark team they provide what's called seller-side advisory services. Seller-side advisory means that they help sellers of business sell their business in the best way. And together with Dustin, when you hire a seller-side advisory service, the first thing means that you are actually serious, which I think is a good indication. The second thing is they know how to manage both parties really well because they're professionals at it. And the third thing is we've never sold a business before in this way. So what do we know about selling businesses? So we need someone to help us. So I think as entrepreneurs, you always try to do everything yourself. Meanwhile, there's such an opportunity to employ or get the dream team to come and help you sell your business. And without the benchmark team, we wouldn't have achieved what we managed with Imperial, which is cool. At the same time, we had to deal with multiple challenges. The price earnings, how to maximize returns from both sides, incentivize the people that are staying on the business. We had to do the transaction while the business is still running. So while you're doing a transaction, like it's difficult to focus on the business that you're busy doing. There's legal and compliance drama we had to fix. There were understand the opportunities we have to on integration, and we had to unbundle one of our existing businesses from our holdco, which is interesting. All of this actually was run by the benchmark team. They did almost all the heavy lifting for us, and because of that, we were sort of able to do the transaction. And like I said, this is some of the things that they had to manage. I think they had to manage like a lot of, I wouldn't say quite a lot of egos, but there's a lot of returns focus. I think that they relieved a lot of the operational pressures and allowed the transaction to actually happen, which I think is quite cool. And so at the end of the day, we went through a process with Imperial. Some of our shareholders exited. Some of the rest of us decided to stay on a model where we'd have high valuations on the business and earn out over a 2 or 3 year period. And the calculations on how we value our business is basically a function or a combination of the revenue and EBIT of the business. And that's basically, in a nutshell, the story of our Parcel Ninja business in 10 minutes, together with how we managed to sell it. And I spoke really quickly to try and get through as much of that as possible.
Wow, Justin, that is amazing. Thank you very much for taking us through so much of it in such a short little bit of time. I got way more than we bargained for. That's very, very special. Yeah, you guys must be so stoked. Congratulations from all of us. It's great to see, ecosystem, born and bred entrepreneurs growing a company from scratch in that first home office, all the way through the motions, through the years, up until an exit like this to a big listed player. Congratulations on all of that, and good luck with everything that's in the next phase for you.
Hey, Lau here, one of the founders of Outsource CFO. If you enjoyed this video, make it official. Click subscribe.